Oh. Oh, go away. Hey, command. 2 streams? Is this the one I'm looking for? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. Oh. Oh, of course that don't work. Do I need to... blah, blah, blah. Oh, washing dishes. That's... I hate that shit. Oh, all this junk. Go. Holy shit, I'm behind so much stuff. The fuck? What am I doing? I think I should be on top of everything now. What was that sound? Oh, that was updates ready. Gotcha. I know that. I got that. I can't see the terminal from my soda. Ooh. Ah, not bad. I just like watching this go. Hey, George. Oh, I need to clean my desk. There's so much shit on it, man. Dun, 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 dun. I have a fun laptop story running Linux. How bad it is. Oh, good old glibc. Oh, they still have Perl in there? What the fuck are they using Perl for? Oh my god, am I already tired? Security Linux. What are we updating? Oh, it's running post-install cleaner. Oh, it's awake. It's alive. And we updated, so we have to do a reboot. Yoink. Loading. I haven't set this up yet, apparently. Pigeon. Is anyone still using this motherfucker? Wow. That takes me back. Oh, that's... Oh, why are you not following the dark theme? Why are you white? How the fuck do you change the more tools? Ear to eyedropper? No. I don't want you to spy on me. More than you already do. No. Nope. Nope. What browser should we get? Is Zen? Cancel, accept, switch to English, go into the Zen browser. Are you supported onto Linux? I click download. There you go. I don't want to use FlatHub. No. Just give me a... Why are you giving me? I don't want to compile you from source. Well, anywho. Vivaldi then. I don't want a deb, I want an RPM. Yeah, Brave is yeah, no. Go look it up on YouTube. It's almost worse than Chrome. They are not as good as people think they are. Neat. But why are you... Have I not themed this? I did. Dark. There you go. Thank you. Thank you so much for actually doing what I told you to do. That was not that difficult, was it? Let's uninstall some. Let's deload Linux. It's not it's everything about Brave that's sketchy as fuck. It's not just the defaults, it's the company in of itself. Oh, LibreOffice, get rid of that shit. Do, 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 do. Welcome to my life in Linux. Uninstalling takes longer than installing the fucking distribution. Da da da. I think this is in here where we enable. We can enable. Roll. What is it called? RPM Fusion? No? We have to do that the old-fashioned way, I guess. It's a decent GNOME software. It's kind of decent. Let's trash you. Oh yeah, I didn't. I gave it too little space. I may need to add another hard disk to it. Empty, empty. Continue. Skip. Skip. Lock. Continue. Dark. Continue. Top. Yep, yep, yep. Start browsing. Do the little tab magic. There you go. Oh. Nope. Opera browser is not good either. Unless you want to give all your shit to China. Like Vivaldi, Zen. Well, those are the only two I like really would recommend to people if they don't want to be a slave to the system, basically. Oh, it's using yeah, I forgot to set up the search engine. I kind of liked that one. That's not bad. That's not bad either. I think this is like one of the old ones. Oh, I remember this one. I remember when they called it Fedora Core. People were so angry. Arch Linux has become the Veep distro of the world, I guess. This is kind of a simple one. This one was really good also. I actually mained Fedora when that came out for a while. I used to have that. Wait, why are you? Oh, you're not doing it. You're not doing it right. You're not doing it right, buddy. Yeah, I'm searching for wallpapers. What? Oh, here it is. Duck. Here it is. This is the one I'm looking for. Yeah, there you are. Nah, I don't want to do KDE wallpapers. I like to have wallpapers from the distro that I'm running. Hey, Scooby. I think I've talked about framework desktop or laptops before. Like the desktop, I see more point in than I see in the desktop. Or in the laptop. Image, open a new background tab. Oh, it's from Reddit. The default search engine is Start Page, I think it's called. Which is actually a really decent privacy browser. Let's just download it. Or privacy search engine. Oh. Oh, BSD is amazing. I used to have like wallpapers like this here back in the day. Like really nerdy wallpapers. Oh no! Get a Linux user to do FreeBSD and they lose their testicles, man. They have no concept of what's going on at all. If you really want to test them, let them install Solaris or something like that. I'm not going to look up uprock on Origin on Start Page. You can do that yourself. Is that the Undertaker? Fedora versus Arch. Oh, there is an AI section in your YouTube, what is it called, dashboard now, that will AI generate suggestion videos for you based on your content and your viewers. and it will give you a title, an outline, a punchline, 3 or 4 or 2 to 4 thumbnail, and basically all you have to do is actually just make the video. So it would tell you what to talk about, when to, like in sections, what to start with and end with, and what you should talk about and not talk about, and how long it should basically be, and how to show. Basically, you're just being a slave to an AI algorithm, basically. That's probably why we have so many AI-generated content right now. Like, there's so many AI-generated videos out there at the moment. In almost like true crime is getting really, really, really hit by it. But the tech world is also. Most of the top 10 videos, countdown videos, are all AI generated. I love The Undertaker. Or not all, but most of them are heavily AI generated. So I never watch, like, if I'm looking for a new screen or graphic card or whatever it is, I never look at this is the graphic card for 2025 or the top 5 graphic card for 2025, unless it's from a content creator I know. Because most of them is just some AI generated BS that basically just recommends the most expensive new graphic cards. Because if they're new and they're the most expensive and they're from Nvidia, they must be the best. What do we have here? Oh, we don't have any. Oh, we do have preview on. Wait, what? Don't tell me you can't find PNG files. Are you that stupid? Come on, No. Oh, it's in downloads. Okay, that makes sense. That's me being a stupid idiot. I was about to fucking have a hissy fit here. There you go, that's better. Okay, that's blinding me. Let's do this one. There you go. What are you yelling at here? Here's the thing with AI. Or using AI for content creation. It just shows that you are lazy. That's it. It like, you are telling people that you don't think that their view time, like their eyeballs, their attention, is worthy of you actually putting in work. And that they are so stupid that they want second-grade auto-generated AI shit. Like, one day AI will be better than humans, but until that happens, people don't want AI when they can get the real human, Like, they don't want AI actors, they don't want AI presenters. One day they will be better than humans, but right now it's plainly obvious when you're doing it. And for a lot of people, that's an insult. And I kind of get that. They are paying you with their time, more or less. Why would they waste their time on someone that think that their time is not valuable? By say, oh, you are so stupid that you don't know that if it, or you don't deserve the real me. You just deserve some auto-generated artificial thing You don't deserve my real effort. You don't deserve my real me. You deserve a prompt, you know. And that's low-key why a lot of people have a problem with it. I mean, I say low-key, that means that they have a problem with it. They just don't know why they have a problem with it, but that's why they have a problem with it. How do you know that that script is written by people? You don't know that. It could be written by people also. Or on AI. And it probably is. And then people have just corrected, you know, they have proofread it and corrected it a little bit. If they cheat with the AI voice, that's not the only thing they're cheating with. So here's something that's really, really fun to think about. If you have a friend that always takes shortcuts, semi-cheating in a lot of places, you know, like bending the rules, they don't only do that when it's small little things while you are around. They do that all the time because it's in their nature. So if you see someone that speeds all the time, that are bending the rules all the time, and it's a little innocent bending the rule here and there, and you know they are not that bad. No, that's because they're typically only bending the rules slightly when you are around, because they know you will judge them. But if they are with people they don't know or don't care about, or they think nobody knows it, they are going to cheat as much as possible, or bend the rules as much as possible. They're basically telling you who they are, even though a lot of people say, oh, it's just like innocent little lies, or innocent little bending the rule, or innocent little text messages and stuff like that, you know. If they do stuff like that while you're watching, they're doing worse thing when you are not watching. That's almost guaranteed universal for every human being. I had a co-worker, and it's as simple as a thing as taking a shortcut over the grass. I noticed they always took a shortcut over the grass when they were walking to work. And then we had to do a project together. They were trying to take shortcuts all the time, and I'm like, why not do it properly the first time? No, this like, I'm like, I did notice that you're taking shortcuts all the time when you're walking to shopping or walking to work. So they were always looking for the shortcut. Always looking for the shortcut. When they didn't deem the thing that they were doing to be worthy of their full efforts. Because then when you took the same person and put them into another work environment that they were more interested in, they took less shortcuts. But they still took shortcuts. So the more a person is bending the rules, like let's say using AI, the more they are doing it in other places. They're just only telling you about the places or the times that they got caught. Like it's the same with someone like, let's say you have a cheating girlfriend or boyfriend. They probably have cheated more than with one person, but they will only admit to the one person they cheated with that you found out. They're not, yeah, by the way, you also cheated with your friend, your grandmother, your dog, your chickens, you know, the squirrel I saw last night, the bank officer, and then I had a threesome with the fucking local milkman and his wife, you know. They're not going to tell you that, they're only admitting to the things that you know already. So I'm not saying every people are bad people, but the more you see someone bending the rules and cheating, they are doing worse that you don't know about. That's what I'm trying to say. So like I said with my friend that caught the grass, that's a small little insignificant thing. But they will still try and take shortcuts in other small little insignificant places. Not like they're going to cheat and robbing a bank and stuff like that. It's just like, you just have to say, oh, this is a person that likes to take a lot of shortcuts. And they do it even if they have time and they're not in a hurry and stuff like that. So you just need to know that they will, you know, they will try and find the path of least resistance. So if you ask them to do something, they will find the path of least resistance, which sometimes can be a benefit, you know, like if you want to find the most efficient way of doing something. But you also have to remember they will take a shortcut because they always take shortcuts. unless you call them out and then they will stop doing it, you know. You can learn a lot by people by just observing what they're doing. And how they act. It's really interesting. It's super interesting. Like another good example is people that are always late. That's because they're telling you that they value their time over your time. Your time and your what you need to do is less valuable for them than what they need to do. What their life is about. And it's typically a lot of self-centered people that do that, you know, self-important people that do that. Like Pirate Software would be a really good example. I will bet he's almost always late, or he in some way he makes it so like he everything is evolving around him because he's either late or he's the loudest person, or he makes sure that people know, you know, that it's about him. And that's one of the ways you can doing it. Because if you come late, everyone starts to talk about you. Where the fuck are you? Has anyone heard from him? You know, you become the center of attention. I knew a few people that did that. I had a friend that I worked with, and he was always 10 minutes late. Always. On the dot, 10 minutes late. Until one day I was not driving with him to work anymore. I just took the bus without telling him. And he's like, I've been waiting for you for 30 minutes. Yeah, I've been waiting for you for 10 minutes for 6 months. 5 days a week. Yeah, but it's only 10 minutes. Yeah, but that's 10 minutes we come late to work. You know, that's 10 minutes I could have gotten out of bed. You know, that's 10 minutes where I have standing doing nothing that I could do something else. And waiting for you to come and do something. People are really good at telling you who they really are. Why do we have Thunderbird? Why didn't I uninstall that one? Software. Is it in here? Or do I need to do it the old-fashioned way? Oh, it is in here. I'm just blind as a bat. There you go. That was 300 and something megabyte. 300 and something megabyte for something. Do people still use Thunderbird? But they must do. I don't know. It's still here though. What happens if I click on it? It's shitting its bed now. I don't know what to do. You clicked on something that's not existing. Help me, buddy. Yeah, it's definitely going mental now. What the fuck? Are you... What is the system monitor saying? Oh, it stopped doing its thing, so unpin it will probably be a good idea. Why didn't it unpin it by default, though? Why did it not unpin it by default? I also can unpin that one. Maybe I should just pin you. Wait, what happened? Applet preferences. Oh, I need to click on you. There you go. Move to other places. Visible on all workplaces. I do like this. It's kind of pretty. Jesus Christ, Cinnamon. Haha! Gnome Sawface is a heavy motherfucker. Are you still one? Or didn't I close you? Go away. Stop doing that. There you go, thank you. What happens if I then open it? Wait, so when I close Gnome Sawface, it's actually not closing. Huh. That's not right. Wait a minute. Like... What? That has to be a bug. That's not good. Do they have a memory leak? What are you doing? So if I open it again, am I opening just a new instance, or does it just open itself again like it's minimized? Let's try that and see if that happens. Yeah, it just opens like it's minimized. No, it goes up in... Okay, boys, girls, let's see if we can... Look, it just goes up and up and up in memory. Let's see if we can actually introduce a memory leak or a memory hog by a badly coded program. As if there's any, like, if they do any form of garbage collection or something like that. Is there like a way of we could do like a for loop? I think properties. So this is the command. And I can't remember my Bash. Oh, I haven't done Bash in fucking 2 years. I can't remember it now. Yeah, just give me the there it is. And how do Bash do for loops? Oh, this is white as fuck. So that's a range. Oh, here's a range. Yeah, that's a range. So we can do that. So we can do for I in curly brackets. Let's do it. How many dots are there? 2. Let's see if we can open 15 GNOME softwares. And then do... Oh, that's not what I want. Done. What is the basics? I can't remember. I haven't done Bash in forever. What is the Bash extension? Oh, go away. S.sh, that make fucking stupid. Where did I save it now? I can't remember. In my home folder, there you go. Permission denied, of course. So that just opened 15 GNOME softwares. No, it did not. What if we take this one away then? This is with Echo. Can I not spell? This is when you're not on bash scripting. This is not GNOME. This is Cinnamon. Why is Echo not accepted? Oh, it's because I did it with a capital E, I guess. No? Oh, I hate bash. Do I need the dash E? Yeah, I need the dash E. No. How do we do variables? Oh, fuck me. Echo is not print. Is it not? It is a to display text. Okay, so it would be $I. Yeah, there you go. But why is it not closing down like GNOME software? Is that in parentheses or... It seems like it is. Unexpected token. Why can't Bash just be like any other program? Well, it's because it's a scripting language, but... Okay, don't need the parentheses, just need the space. It's like Python, I guess. And it's in seconds, so 3 seconds sleep. I can see why people like doing Bash, because it's so fucking simple. So... when it's open itself, it's just refreshing itself. Well, at least it's not going up in memory, though. And... done. So the problem here is that when I'm closing down GNOME software, it's not closing down. It's still running. But it's not minimizing or anything like that. So we're trying to figure out if we can introduce like either a memory leak or something in that nature to see if we can make it use excessive amount of memory. I think this is commenting it out. So let's go up to 150 times, boys. Okay, so we really can... So what it looks like is that it's... either it refreshes itself if it's already open, or it closes and open again. But I think it's just refreshing the UI if it's already running. What if we do 1,500? Because if you look at what's happening here, it looks like the view is just getting refreshed all the time. Look, it's redrawing the UI all the time. Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Maybe that dollar or percent sign U just mean open the UI. We could try and take that away. Also, 1,500 probably is overkill. You should just do it 1,000 times. If you like stuff like that, become a bug tester, a unit tester. We need you guys out there. But at least we didn't, like, kill the memory or anything like that. Let's do that. Let's try and take this away. Let's save that. Let's put you over here. Let's put you up over here. Because GNOME is nowhere to be found in any, like, system trace or anything like that. So let's try and run it again. Yeah. I think that % sign you just mean open the or refresh the UI if already open. Because look, now it's not doing anything. So there has to be a check in GNOME software that says if already running, don't reopen. Just kill the open command. Where if you do... This is a little bit like reverse engineering in a really, really simple scope also. So if you do this... Because also see, it remembers its location. So if I close it down, here we see it's still in memory. It's still running in the backend. So now we are telling it to, if it's already open and we click the shortcut, just refresh the UI. So it's actually a good thing that they have built in a condition check that says, if they are already open, don't make a new instance of it, because then we could see the memory over here. That would just go up, and we would have like 1,000 GNOME software running. Right now we only have one, and every time we are simulating clicking a button that opens it, and every time we do that, it's just refreshing the UI. Which is, again, kind of clever done. Like, it's clever done that way. But why are they not closing it when I'm telling it to close it? Because you can see here we have XCD, that's this little child here. So if I close this down now, you see it went away. And now it's back up again. Now you can see it's here again. You have the bash script in here. But if I close down GNOME software, it's still up here running. I wonder if this is just a Fedora problem, a Cinnamon problem, or it does this on all Linux distributions. It's the services that are running. Aha. So it's running bin software, GNOME services, I think. A little bit hard for me to read all the way up there. I'm looking at my second screen. Can we, or we could go into properties. Stay is sleeping right now. It's taking a lot of memory though. It's unconfined. Yeah, it's opening the services. It's a lot of memory just to have a background service to check for updates. Because what? So, should we do a private software explanation? Should we do a private software explanation? Adblock detected, disable it. What the fuck? I never had a problem with that before. No, I don't. I just want to search. Okay. Yeah, but you don't need to run the... So here's what's going on. I'll make this black, like my soul. Okay. So what that basically, not basically, but what that looks like is going on is, so you have a a program, simply speaking, has like, again, this is super simple, but think about it as a backend and a front end. So the front end, kind of in the name, is all the UI elements. So here, the buttons, the menus, all of these things. The back end is all of the things that makes it happen. It's the things that get the data, where it gets it from. It's like, think about the back end like this, like a terminal. It fetches all the data, it populates what is to populate, and it makes it displayable for the end user, and then the UI makes it displayable. So in a lot of instances, depending on how you develop your software, this is big, this is small. When we are thinking about resources. So a UI, if you're using a modern UI library like Qt, GTK, WinVPF, WinUI, and it's a small program like GNOME software is not a big software, it's a small software. There's not a lot going on here. So the UI is what we see here. This is like a list. It could be like a grid or a stack panels kind of thing. Like, it stacks elements, UI elements with buttons and stuff like that, and here it gets a list of like, there's not, basically what I'm saying, there's not a lot going on in the UI here. This is standard, this is somewhat standard. This is like a tab pane or tab panel kind of thing. Or it could be buttons that refreshes a view. And this is the view, this thing here. So there's not a lot going on here. So that's why when we look at this resource, if you look here, you see GNOME software right now with the UI running, doing all of these things there, is taking up 272 megabytes. So when I close it, it's taking up, it lost about 20 megabytes-ish. And that's because a lot of the things that resources, for the most part, that are being used by a software is what's going on in the behind. All the things you don't see. It's actually the one taking a lot of resources. Unless we're talking gaming. But for desktop programs, a lot of the stuff, not all the time, but most of the time, is what's heavy in the back end. So what this kind of shows that they are doing, what they're doing. May not be it, but it kind of shows is that, so when you're closing down the UI, so when you're doing this, clicking this button up here, all you are doing is you're hiding this. You may not even close it, you're just hiding it. And then when you're clicking it again, you are showing it again. So they are taking the most resource-hungry part and hiding it from the user and reopening it again when they need it. But that means that this behemoth here is still running. So to run a update checker, I can show you how little resources that take. So this is the terminal. GNOME terminal monitor here. I'm doing an update check right now. It didn't move at all. This is how many resources it takes to get an update in the backend. No resources at all. And I could say, they could like argument, but we also have some other services running. I get it. But have an update checker should not take more than a few megabytes of RAM. Even if you do logging and exception handling and stuff like that. So the skeptical part of me, the part of me that is like, they're doing it the easiest, the fastest, and the simplest way. because they don't care about optimization, which no people really don't care about optimization, to be honest, is that what they are like, well, most computers nowadays have a lot of memory. So why should we optimize for memory use? The simplest and easiest way is just to hide the UI. If that is actually what's happening here. And that will make sense. It's like, because it's super easy to do, all you have to do is, again, I'm super simplifying it here, on close event, like when you click this button, discard the UI. And then what they do is that when you go back in here and you click here, they see, is the service already running? So they could do like a process check. Is the process already running? If so, redraw the UI. So it's a really good way of also introducing perceived speed. Because when you do this, that seems like, oh, this is fucking fast. Yeah, it's fast because you're only reopening the smallest part of the program. But you are paying for that by spending a lot of resources in the backend. And this looks typically like people will do this to give people the perception of speed. So let's kill this here. Let's try and open GNOME software again. Look, this is like, that took longer, right? That took longer. Significantly longer. And now it does the same shit again. Look. And then once in a while, it will do the refresh the UI, it will refresh the backend. But even if they do this, they don't need to spend this much memory just to have like a updater service and a list populator running in the background. This looks like a poorly optimized program that are simulating speed for the end user, where the program is overly heavy, overly slow. Not even Windows do that. So now we're talking about speed. So another way that they can simulate things being fast is animation speed. So again, that's this here. How fast does this take? So a lot of time, what I've seen a lot of the desktop developers do is that they will make an update to their desktop, and they will speed up the animation speed, and everyone think they have a more optimized running version of that software. Because they don't look at how much RAM and CPU use did it took before. So as the end user, if you don't look at stuff like that, you think that, oh my god, they have super optimized KDE. KDE did this actually at one point. They released a version of KDE and everyone's like, oh, this is the fastest version of KDE, the most optimized version of KDE. And the KDE developers had to say, no, we haven't optimized anything, we just speeded up the animation speed. It still takes the same resources as it did like last year or something like that. Hey, Lamer, go do your thing. And this is why I say that a lot of Linux users don't know what they're talking about. Because for a lot of Linux users, or Linux YouTubers, they don't see this. They don't see this. All they see is this. Look how much faster it is compared to Windows. By opening and closing. Oh, no, it didn't close it. Let's try again. See how fast it is at closing and opening. Look. Yeah, that's because you're not closing the program. You're only hiding the UI. You're not really closing the program. So a lot of the things, and this is something you kind of learn when you start to use Linux for a long time, and you get into Linux, is that they do what every developer do. They try to fool the end user in a lot of instances. So that could be like, let's say you are angry about, oh, this is so slow. What they hear is not like, oh, our backend. They don't hear, oh, our backend is too big and too cumbersome. You want more speed. So they just amp up the animation speed. And that will satisfy the end user until the next release. Then they're like, yeah, I still feel a little bit sluggish. Then they will optimize the speed next time again. Optimize the UI again. And at some point, they can't do that anymore, because then there will be no animations. And then they have to look at this here. The backend. The good old booty. The good old behind. And this is where, if you change something in here, a lot of things can go wrong. You know, you may use outdated libraries. You know, you have to, outdated versions of things that just makes it incompatible with a new optimized version. And you have to optimize for it, and you have to, like, if you change something in the backend, can have more repercussions depending on how well it's coded than if you change something in the front end. Like, you can fuck up the front end by changing one variable. You can also fuck up the back end by changing one variable. But theoretically, technically, it should be easier to build a robust front end than a robust back end. Because a front end don't have that much logic in it. Think about a front end like building a website. Setting up the graphics in a website, the pictures, all of these things don't take much time, much effort. It's somewhat simple to do. But get all of that connected to do real stuff, getting all your pictures, sending stuff to a server, searching, playing videos. That's all of the things that's going on in here in the backend. And what it looks like, and this is something I've caught the GNOME developers do a lot of times, is that they will give people this illusion, by the illusion of speed, by doing this. They tend to, because GNOME is really resource hungry. Like, GNOME takes a lot of fucking Rome is not optimized on GNOME. And it's partly also because of the GTK library. That's not really well optimized either. So what they tend to do is doing stuff like this here, where they don't actually close the program, they just hide the UI. Or they hide the UI and then closes the thread like, oh, it has not been reopened for like 30 minutes or something like that. And that is something you do if you want to make something, like you make a proof of concept program, or if you don't have the resources to do it properly. So you don't have the development power and all the time to build a proper program. So you do the absolute, like I said, taking shortcuts. You're doing the absolute minimum for maximum effect. So that would be like, oh, the users want more speed. So it's easier to optimize this. This is done by one variable change. Thank you so much, Lick Reality. Optimizing the animation speed, that's just changing a value. It's really simple. It's just changing a value. X milliseconds. Optimizing the backend can take years, depending on how what you call it, how big and how entangled it is. However, I will bet that most software developers, even junior developers, so we could optimize GNOME software to take about half of this fucking memory. Because I suspect they have a lot of unnecessary shit running in the background. Development is boring as shit. You are going to spend a lot of time looking at a screen, thinking, What did I fuck up? How can I make this more efficient? How can I make it arrow less out? And then you test. You write the same shit in a little different way. You test. You write the same shit in a little different way. You test. You go ask a friend. And then it's like, you know what, let's just speed up the animation. And this is why I don't believe much in open source development in the form of most of the open source development that's being done by Linux is being done in a way that it's underfunded people with too little time that are trying to satisfy a hungry crowd. So imagine it's a cook or 5 chefs, cooks, whatever you will call them, that are trying to feed 100 people with the ingredients to feed 5. And those 100 people want that food yesterday. So they are doing they are thinning it out. They're doing stews with way too much water. They are chopping the things out in too little portions. They are trying to stretch what they have as far as possible. And that means that, well, what is the easiest way to give you the perceived notion of speed? Upping the animation speed. Because you may look at your resource manager and say, oh, well, it's using 3 gigabytes of RAM, but it's fast. So that must be why it's using 3 gigabytes of RAM, because it's fast. No, it's using 3 gigabytes of RAM, because it's using 3 gigabytes of RAM. It has, like, how much RAM your system use, or how little it use, rarely has any impact on how fast it is. It just tells you how many things are open at the same time. Like, if you're talking really, really simplified. If you don't care about pre-caching, pre-opening, and all of that shit that Windows and Apple do. And Linux to some extent also. If you're just talking about the good old-fashioned way, how they did it in the 90s and 80s, all RAM users is telling you is how much shit is running on your computer. Not how fast it is. It can be super fast with 100% RAM usage, and it can be super fast with 1% RAM usage. All is telling you how much stuff you put into random access memory. That's all it's telling you. And sometimes what Windows does and Mac does is that, well, it's basically what GNOME is doing here. They're precaching. Well, to give you the perception of speed, we are going to pre-open a lot of your most used applications into memory. So when you do click, this here is exactly what Windows is doing, that GNOME software is doing. So this seems faster. Windows do this more aggressively than GNOME does. And it is to give you the illusion of speed. So they're like, okay, the first time you open GNOME software, we're opening all the services and blah, 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 blah. And from the rest of the days, when you're closing GNOME, you're not really closing it. It's still running in memory. It's precast, so to speak. So GNOME is doing what every Linux user says that's wrong with Windows. Precaching. And GNOME has done this for years, by the way. So a lot of times when you think you're having a fast system, you're not having a fast system. You're just having fast animation speed. And Linux is doing a lot of the same shit that Windows is doing, but Linux is just like, oh, it's okay because Linux does it. And Windows do this more aggressively than Linux does, because most of the time with GNOME, it don't pre-cache your software until you have opened it the first time. Where Windows will do it for you without you opening it. So let's say you're opening up Firefox all the time when you boot into your system. So under boot, Windows, before you even see the UI, it will start to open up Firefox for you. So when you click the Firefox icon, you're basically just doing what we're doing here. You're just opening the UI. Like, it's doing this. Showing you the UI. And then when you're doing this, it's like, how much memory do this sucker has? Ha! He has too much money and too little sense. He has like 125,000 gigabytes of RAM. Let's just keep it open. Let's have it pre-cached. So next time the idiot goes in and do this here, we're just redrawing the UI instead of opening all the services. So GNOME is doing exactly what Windows are doing. And they're doing it for the same reasons. It's because you, the user, think you're running a faster system. And you don't notice that your memory is creeping up slowly over time. The more programs you open, the more this will happen if they are developed to do that. Because it's something that you develop for. So you can have a window, like when I install Windows 11, a stock standard Windows 11, let me know in chat how much RAM you think a stock standard Windows 11 install takes on first boot. Give me a number. Give me a good old number. RAM almost consume no power. They're like, I think they're 3 point something watts. 3 gigabytes. 96 watt, 96 megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. So it's about 5 gigabytes. About 5. Between 3.5 and 5, depending on, you know, if you have like a slimmed down version of Windows or not. Well, how much do you think a stock standard Linux distribution take on first boot? Less than this, but how much less? Because you have to remember, we have like 1 gigabyte of Firefox, or not Firefox, but Vivaldi running here. A little bit more than that. It's between 2 and 2.5. If you're running like a modern desktop environment and a modern Linux distribution. So if you're installing Arch Linux with no services running and i3, it's probably like under 1 gigabyte. But like, let's say you're running any like when I say modern, like commonly used, commonly accessible, commonly target, you know, like average person target distribution, it's about 2.5 megabyte or gigabyte. And as you can see here, it already have cached. Oh, well, now it went up in caching. So that mean that it has stuff in memory right now that it may not need, but it keeps it there in case it needs it. And again, Windows do this way more aggressively. Windows look at how much RAM you have accessible. And then typically they will be like, okay, so let's say you have 32 gigs of RAM. Let's pre-cache up to about 50% of your RAM use. Just in case. Let's take the programs you use the most and pre-open them up till about 50% of your memory. So I did an experiment. I had 16 gigs of RAM on a computer. And I opened up my stock, it was my stock standard Windows machine. Like I used it all the time. I did it on a laptop and then I moved over to my desktop. But first I did it on a laptop. My development laptop came with 16 gig of RAM. I looked at RAM usage, it was like 49%ish. 49, 40%, depending on what I was doing. I was like, I need more RAM, because I'm doing app development, I'm doing a lot, Java, C#, all of this kind of things. So yeah, I need more RAM. So I got 32 gigs of RAM. And I'm like, yay, now it's using less RAM. 5 minutes after I opened up my machine, 5 to 10 minutes after, it was back up to 43 to 49% of my RAM use. And I'm like, it must be because I'm only using 32 gigs of RAM. So I went on to my desktop computer that had 32 gigs of RAM, and it was like, oh, it's also using about 40-something% of RAM. Let me get 64 gigs, man. Let me go ham. Let me, like, drop the balls, be a man, hair on my chest. I'm buying 64 gigs of RAM. Because then it has to only use, like, that would be, what is, like, 40-something% of 34. or 32 gigs, like 15 gigabytes, let's say that. Oh, then if I put 64 in, it will only use 15 gigs of RAM because it did that before. I installed 64 gigs of RAM, 5, 10, 20 minutes the system been running, it was using, you guessed it, 45 to 48% of RAM. So the more RAM you throw into Windows, the more it will use, up to like a certain point, because it's built to do that, for the reasons that I explained in this like pirate software knockoff thing here. So that's how Windows handle RAM. Linux, however, don't cast that aggressively. And all that is just a matter of philosophies. Because RAM nowadays is so fast that you barely will notice any speed difference between it has to take something out of memory and put something new into memory, versus there's nothing in memory. There is a difference, but it's minute. So let's say a program needs a lot of memory access, and all your memory is filled with like precast and stuff like that. Then it has to empty room, It's like a house that only have a certain amount of room. It has to take shit out of the room to put new shit into the room. That will take a little bit of time, but not much nowadays. And that's why Windows does it, because you will not noticing it on day-to-day instance. If you're running a supercomputer, you probably will notice it. But for everyone else, gamers, developers, content creators, we won't notice anything of it. So it's just a matter of philosophy now. There's some people that have this belief that unused RAM is wasted RAM. And that is kind of a little bit where Windows is going. Where the old school people that I'm a little bit in is like, well, if I don't need the RAM, let me just have it empty. And then when I need it, it's there, which is like the Linux way of thinking and the little old school way of thinking. And that is because, like, if you go to the 80s and below and older, RAM was slow. Not as slow as hard drive, but it was slow. Like, if you go all the way back to, like, I think it was like the 50s and before, RAM was like persistent. You could take off your computer, turn off your computer, and what was in memory was still there. I think it was called persistent memory, and it was a lot of wires done into a PEG board. I think I can't remember what they call it. It's a really interesting technology. I can't remember if they call it persistent RAM, like yeah, here it is. So stuff like this here. So this here, this is like a super, this can probably hold a few bits. But this meant, because I think it was electromagnetically stored, so that meant that when you turned off your computer, what you had in memory was still in memory. Because we didn't really have hard drive back in those days. And storage was super expensive. So a lot of times when they did the whole computers with their big old tapes and stuff like that, they would load stuff into those kind of memories and keep it there. So that's where the mentality is that, we need to, we can't have anything in memory because it takes a lot of time to get things out of memory and into memory. When we are talking about getting things out of inner memory today, we are talking probably milliseconds, if not nanoseconds. Like how long it takes to take like 1 megabyte or something like that out of memory and into memory. Like probably nanoseconds if I don't know it for a fact, but it's fucking fast. And that's why that for most users, you can have running 100% RAM or 90% RAM, and you will probably not notice much of it if it's cached RAM. If a program takes up 100% RAM and lock it down so you can't write over it, that's where you get into RAM issue. If a program is like, I need all of this RAM, and then you open up your Pornhub, and it's like, I also need RAM to display these movies. Well, nope. I have reserved 99% of this dude's RAM. That is where you get into issues. So when you're looking at RAM that a lot of people don't do correctly, you need to look at this and not just this, or not just this. Because here it says it's using 21% out of 16 gigabytes. That don't make sense, but it kind of makes sense if you take these two together. And then they also will go on and use the swap partition or the swap file. And a lot of people be like, well, I'm using swap partition or swap file, I need more RAM. Well, not really, because some programs are just programmatically made to use swap. So if they want to store something that don't require a lot of speed, again, because back in the day we didn't have much RAM, they are like, you know what, let's put it into a swap file or swap partition. It's something we're only accessing once a minute or something like that, you know. We don't need it on demand all the time, but we kind of need it on demand. And it's not speed sensitive. So they will program the program to use swap. And there have been programs back in the day that would not work without swap file or partition. On both, on Linux or Windows, they call it a page file, which is the correct term for it, by the way. Swap is a community adopted wording, more or less. But there are programs still to this day that are programmed to use swap. So you can fill up your computer with 10 terabytes of RAM and it will still use swap. But again, like I said, a lot of people don't really know what they're looking at when they're looking at this here. It's like if I took you into like a Formula 1 racing garage and you were looking at the telemetry. You may know G-force and stuff like that, but when you're looking at the horsepower and the torque curves and stuff like that, you have no idea what you're looking at. And that's the problem we have with a lot of the so-called Linux experts nowadays, is that they know a little bit, and then you think, oh, everything has to be like that. No, it's actually a lot more complicated than it looks like. But for like a generalized idea, yeah, they understand a lot of the generalized things. But it's only serviceable if you're talking super generalized, you know. So again, if you're going to shit on Pirate Software because it's super popular, if you know just a little bit about the things he's talking about, you would know that Pirate Software only speaks in massively generalized areas. So a lot of what he is saying and talking about is something that if you've been in that industry or done what he has done for 6 months, you will know all of this. You will probably be better than him. But if you have no idea how to code, pen testing, no idea how to do social engineering or anything like that, you know, hacking, it looks like he's a genius. But what Pirate Software skill level is like a 6 months in the field or something like that. And here's the thing. He probably has less practical experience than 6 months when it comes down to it. Again, probably a more an easy, understandable what is it called? Comparisons would be like if I start to speak Danish. You know, I just start to speak Danish right out the bat. How the fuck can anyone understand it? That sounds really, really complicated. It sounds really, really stupid and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because you don't know it. But if you talk to someone from Sweden, Finland, Norway, they're like, yeah, it's different. But it's not that different. It's not that hard. And that's where Pirate Software kind of has a lot of people fooled. The same with some ordinary gamer, by the way. He's also one of the people that has a lot of people fooled. Is that for a lot of people, it sounds like magic. Chris Titus Tech is another one. No, for a lot of people that comes into Linux, he sounds like a genius. But if you use Linux for 6 months, you know more about Linux than he does. You know. Yeah, Finnish people know a little bit of Swedish, yeah. They're neighbors, so they know a little bit about it. But not all of them, but a big portion of them do. So Chris Titus Tech likes to call himself like a developer or something like that. yeah, he don't know what the fuck. He's a script kiddie. He's what a hacker would call a script kiddie. If you talk to any developers, like full-blown developers that have an education, and they look at him, they will say, yeah, he's a script kiddie. Because what he does is like, if you took like a course for like a month course on any development language, you would do more than he can do. That don't mean he can't make good software. It just means that the way that he's doing it and how he goes about it is, you know, super simple. Hello, Finland. I used to game a lot with some people from Finland back in the day. Like, quite a fucking lot. We used to play a lot of Arma. And that is kind of the trap that you go into with YouTube, or in general in life, is that if you don't know something about a thing, you can be easily fooled by people that are charismatic, well-spoken, but actually don't know much more than you do. But they know how to hook you into their conversation. And how to keep you there. And how to get your money. That's probably the worst part if we talk about consultants and stuff like that. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people where they have gotten something done outside of their own company, and they have overpaid for it because they don't know what... Well, they know what they want, but they don't know actually how cheap it actually is. Or how better and faster it could have been done. And cheaper it could have been done. So for them it sounds like, well, we all been told that doing this is super expensive. So if you're saying this amount of money, and I'm asking some locally, and they're saying this amount of money, well, you're cheaper than them, so that must be, you know, we're taking the cheaper one because they must know what they're talking about. And then they don't understand that why the expensive ones is because, well, they actually do the job correctly. You know, they actually, you know, deliver something that you can, you know, build upon and reuse and stuff. That way, the cheaper ones is taking a lot of shortcuts. That makes it like they're building. They basically, yeah, it's cheap here. Your job is, but that's you can't get it. If you want to do anything else, you have to hire some new people that cost even more money to fix it. Basically, you know. Yes, you know, a crippled person that has alcohol withdrawal can paint a wall. But it will not be as good painted and done with the same amount of quality as if you hire a painter, you know. That's what you get. You're getting what you're paying for, basically. Yeah, I know some... I never liked Some Ordinary Gamer. It's almost... I've been getting so much shit from people like, I've been part of the YouTube community for over 10 years now. But more in the back-end side of things. Like helping people and shit like that. And I got so much shit of not liking Mr. Beast, not liking Some Ordinary Gamer, not liking Chris Titus Tech, not liking a lot of Linux YouTubers, not liking a lot of tech YouTubers. And now all of the people, I kind of feel like I'm living in a fucking weird world because I'm too stupid to be this right with people. I'm too autistic. But almost all of the people I never liked is now being called out. I can almost fucking give you a list, and 80% of those has been called out for some fucking crazy shit or another one. And for all of the things I can't do in life, I don't know how I'm that fucking lucky of picking weird ass people or not. I don't know what's wrong. I honestly don't know. But it just like, I have this ick, you know, like, they give me the wrong vibe. And it's hard to explain when I talk with people. I almost instinctively know if they know what they're talking about or not. You know, I almost, like, within, like, a short amount of time can figure out if they actually know what they're talking about or not. That don't mean that they're bad people or anything like that. And I do follow some people that have no fucking idea what they're talking about, but they are super highly entertaining, so I don't mind it. You know, like, it's not like you need to know what you're talking about. They can still be good people and entertaining. But what you see in the tech world a lot of times is people, presenting themselves as being the guru or the authority. And when they do that, that's when I get a ick, you know, a feeling. And I got that with private software also. A friend told me to look into him, and I was like, why are you listening to him? Like, I don't know much about development, but I know enough that is bullshit what he's saying 90% of the time. And I hate calling it hacking. I have been modifying games since I was 12 years old to get them to work, or let's say lending them out to friends without them having to have a key or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I've been dealing with online security since I was 12 because a lot of my friends and family members got catfished and phishing emails and so, like, caught in social engineering problems, basically. So a lot of the things that he's talking about is like, this is like something everyone knows. You know, like, this is not, like, you're not, like, this is not genius, man. And he's playing all out as lying about a lot of things also about social engineering. I caught him in one the other day that someone showed in a video about him, where he was talking about ID badges and how wrong he is about ID badges. Because if let me put it this way, if it was true what he was saying that he could do with those ID badges, nobody would be allowed to take an ID badge outside of work. No one. No one. You couldn't even have a credit card outside of you, like, on you, because of what he, like, of what he told that he could do with, like, because they build around the same technologies a lot of times. So if he could do that with an ID card, he could be a billionaire by running around and fucking siphoning money from people's credit cards. Which you can't. Like, it's encrypted communication and all that fucking bullshit. You can to some degree, but there's still a lot of encryption going on. But apparently, like, again, even, you know, even like the data that you get from an NFC and stuff like that depends on how the card is built. You know, like, just because you get the ID badge number don't mean you can run and control the whole company. It can mean that you can just get in the door. And that's it. And a lot of times, this is another thing that he don't talk about. They do, like, two-factor authentication. It's just not one, you know, let's say, let me put it this way, the ID card is not the only thing they use to do things. Like, an ID card most of the time is just to get in the door, and then they're using other things to access sensitive data. Keys, biometrics, codes, sometimes all of them. And yes, you may get in the front door, but then there should be people trained to ask, I don't know you, who the fuck are you, what are you doing here? That's not you on the fucking ID card. So the thing that he says he did with social engineering, it looks like he watched Mr. Robot and then just like, yep, I've done that. You know, like, he has no fucking idea what he's talking about when it comes to social engineering. I've been there have been scammers in fucking somewhere in India that know more, have been better at social engineering, that try to scam me than he is. If you have to believe him in the way that he's talking about it, because everyone can fucking send out a phishing email, you know. But he's like, if I know where you drink your coffee, I have access to everything about you. You just know where the fuck I get my coffee. That's it. And here's the thing. There are thousands of other people that works besides me that know where I get my coffee. So you're telling me all those thousands of people have access to everything about it. No, he's the stupidest fucking person I've ever fucking heard, man. And some ordinary gamer's not far from it. You know, some ordinary gamer is just a hobbyist that thinks he's a fucking genius. And I hate people like that. Hey, George, Private Software. Private Software is, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He just sounds like he does. And then some ordinary gamer, again, is just a hobbyist that thinks he's a brilliant fucking idiot. They are not as smart as they think they are, and that's the problem. Do you know what stolen valor is? Because what he is doing is actually not a little thing. He is belittling people that spent almost a decade in training and in school and thousands of dollars to get to, or have the privilege to bear a title. He's kind of belittling them, making fun of them by doing what he's doing. It's like me running around calling myself a doctor and getting people to believe I'm a doctor, and then you come in with a fever and I cut off your leg and say, I must know what I'm doing because I'm a doctor. So treat me with some fucking respect, you fucking idiot. That is kind of what he's doing. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that. If my mom tells me I'm the most brilliant and handsome guy in the world, that's enough. Yeah. I totally forgot that. You're so fucking right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, if mom and dad believe it, it must be true. That's one thing that really fucking, like, here's the thing with calling, like, if Thor is your middle name, and you were like 6'5", and you were built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, call yourself fucking Thor, okay? Go call yourself Thor. You've earned that. But if you're a skinny fucking little long-haired furry fucking idiot, don't call yourself Thor. At least if you had blonde hair, I could get it. Especially not if it's your middle name. Your first name is Jason. It's your primary name. I have a middle name. I never fucking use it. A lot of people have middle names and they never use it. But Thor or Jason, the only reason why he calls himself Thor is because it's masculine, it makes him, all that fucking shit. At least earn it. You know, like, if you are Thor or want to be called Thor, look like Thor. You know, like, or else just be Jason. There's nothing wrong with being a Jason. I actually like that name, to be honest. There's nothing wrong with being a Jason. But he wants to be called Thor because he thinks it's cool. That's the only reason. It's because it's fucking cool. He sounds like a fucking god. And then he hides behind DMCA takedowns and he makes other people do his dirty work because he's a weak little motherfucker. Look at the people he's attacking. He never goes after the big guys that actually could defend themselves in court. No, he goes after the small guys. Thor is a bully. Pirate Software is the internet biggest fucking bully. Because he hits down. He hits and bitch slap all the people that is beneath him. He never goes after the big guys. And again, Thor. Thunderguard. That's not really Thor-like behavior. like, take on Charlie, take on, PewDiePie, take on, like, the big boys. Maybe you could call yourself Thor a little bit there. Go against Goliath, take the difficult fight. Don't hide behind mods and fans and like he does like a fucking weak simp. Like, earn the name Thor, and people will call you Thor. But yeah, he's just a fucking, like, he's a phony, man. Like, I can rant about him for like decades. He's like he's this generation's DSP. He's like, in 3 or 5 years, he'll be sitting on live streams begging for money like DSP. Because he's doing exactly what DSP did back in the day. He cornered a market nobody was really cornering. He got super popular, made a shit ton of money, and then people found out his real personality and who he really was. And now DSP is sitting begging for money. Yeah, he's out of line, but he's right. Yeah, DSP says the same shit. DSP, I did everything correct. I did nothing wrong. He's like, DSP is exactly like Pirate Software. 100,000%. The only difference is DSP is at the end of his he's in the baking stage. Pirate Software is almost there. He has lost a lot of money and a lot of viewers, but he's at the middle of his decline right now. It's only going to get worse. It was the same. The DSP was like the most popular fucking live streamer on Earth. Or not live streamer. Let's Player on Earth at one point. Everyone loved DSP. He could do nothing wrong in a lot of people's eyes. Then PewDiePie came out and all the other fucking Let's Players. And within like 5 years lifespan, he ended up where he is now. He's sitting and begs for money two times a day on a live stream, earning about $300 a stream. And Pirate Software is doing the same projectile. He's doing all the same bullshit that DSP did back in the day. Oh no, it's never going to happen. The real fans know who I am. I'm too smart to not get, I know I'm hardworking, I'm dedicated, like, I can do nothing wrong, I will keep being successful. He's doing exactly, almost like fucking play for play, all of the things DSP. He has a ferret rescue. And he's a gay furry. That's the only difference between him and DSP. DSP he's lasted a long time, but technically I've been on YouTube since 2011. I just have not made any money. I still don't make any money on YouTube, really. But I've been there. The problem with DSP is he could make more money having a 9-to-5 job if he uses education. And it would be less stressful. You don't have to deal with all the fucking detractors and bullies, or what he calls them. He would have a less stressful life, make more money, have more time with his wife, and all that fucking shit. Basically, more money for less work. If he still uses whatever degree he has in his business, if he actually have that. I don't know if he has that or not. But let's pretend that he has. He's living in an illusion. There are people on YouTube that's been around longer than DSP. They just have not made the same amount of money, but they've been there longer than him. But Pirate Software, like I said, DSP, he made a shit ton of money in the beginning of his career, just like Pirate Software. DSP found a loophole where nobody was really cornering the market, just like Pirate Software. DSP got found out of being a fucking roach pick, begging, narcissistic idiot, just like Pirate Software. And then DSP lost all his shit, and Pirate Software is about to lose all his shit. Like Pirate Software, just like DSP, they will not be poor, but they will not be like massively successful again like they used to be. They will be making a okay amount of money, but they could probably make more money if they actually use the education. Yeah, I think I need to get hold of that book at some point. I think. Yeah, Sierra Online was a really fucking interesting gaming company. Who is that guy that has worked for them, that has a YouTube channel now that do a lot of retro gaming shit? What the fuck is his name? Like, he and some other people, they made YouTube channels that used to work for Sierra Online. Metal Jesus, there you go. Yeah. That's the dude. Yeah, they have some fun stories about it. Yeah. I need to catch back up with his stuff. I haven't watched him in a few years. But yeah, Metal Tease, yeah, he I used to play a lot of those games when I was a kid. I love Sierra Online. I loved their games when I was a kid. I can't remember now. Did they get bought out, right? Like someone bought them out or something like that. Or did they just go on? I can't remember now. But they were like a Seattle-based company, if I'm not mistaken. You know what could be fun? Get Metal Jesus to have a one versus one with Pirate Software. Yeah, that's what I thought, George. Yeah. That's also what I vaguely remembered about it, yeah. My brain was like, yeah, it was something like that he got bought out, you know. Yeah, Activision, I think you're... Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It was sad. They made a lot of good software back in the day. I should make a video talking about that. It was one, like... Not Activision. Yeah, there was another one. What the fuck were they called? I can't remember it. I played almost all their games also. They did a lot of, like, military games. Oh, yeah, George, I can definitely believe that, yeah. They have... Like, if they really wanted to, there's so many old IPs they could revive that a lot of people would love to see coming back. Like the old Delta Force games and Jane Strike Pilots, or what they were called. Like, and SWAT, the old SWAT games. Yeah, go do your thing, Command. There were so many good games back in the day. That could be, like, if they really cared about it, they could really revive it in, like, that is due for, you know, a realization or reinterpretation or modernization or what you call it. No, that's what I mean. Like, it has to be people that really care about it. Not the people today, no. It has to be like an indie company that are super passionate about it. Someone just bought Commodore. Like... There's a whole fucking video, YouTube like thing about it. I can't spell it. Yeah, here, we are buying back Commodore. Like... I think they actually have bought it now. Yeah, I've only just, like, I never watched the videos. I just seen the, like, I just seen these titles here. I never watched any of them. They secured it. Okay, gotcha. Bring back the fucking Amiga, man. Bring back the Amiga. Someone just mentioned Amiga OS here. Where is it? Yeah. Bring back the fucking Amiga, man. And put Morph OS on it or something like that. Commodore was such an interesting company. Minimum effort, maximum output. They would buy... So they would buy chips and stuff like that from smaller companies. And then be, we are paying you when we sell units. And then they will never pay them until they almost went bankrupt. Then they will buy the company for almost no money. So that debt got, you know... And nullified, and now they own that IP, those IPs. That they were really, like, was it like Jack Chanel or what his name is? Like, really fucking, like, really like bad business people when you think about it. But they did that a lot. They would just, like, you know, we will owe you, we're a big company, we will pay you back when we sell some units. And then when the company is about to go on, yeah, you know what? let's buy you out. So you at least go away with a little bit of money, and they basically got all the things for almost free. Yeah, it was brilliant but unethical, exactly. But it's a really interesting thing. But like, let's face it, back in the day, Commodore was it was like the Microsoft and Apple of its day. Almost anyone had a fucking Commodore, you know. Or one of John's sons. Oh, that's sweet. Or Jax, sorry, Jax. That's actually super interesting. Here we have good old Amiga OS. Oh, good old Workbench. Chief Terminal. Them were the days, boys. So the only Amiga OS I messed with was like Workbench 3 point something. But look at this fucking shit, man. This makes me want to develop a fucking operating system. Stuff like this is what I love. This is where I love OSs. When it's not a war, it's not us versus them. It's just a group of massively fucking passionate people building cool shit. Linux have lost that. Linux used to be a lot of passionate people building cool shit. Now it's just hating Windows, hating corporate America, or the corporate world, being fucking low-key Marxist communists and yelling and screaming on all fucking places they can get their heads and fingers in. It's anything but being passionate about making cool shit. Yelling and screaming on X because PewDiePie now are using it and what have you not. Fucking 90% of all distribution makers and open source developers are just not being in the fucking field. Because they're too fucking crazy in their head. And they don't care about making cool shit, they just want to be recognized as someone that do cool shit without doing cool shit. And then be activists on this, instead of actually developers. That's kind of what I like about BSD, that they still are about making a lot of cool shit. They have been infiltrated by a lot of politics, but the same with Haiku. They are also, for as slow as they are developing, but they are also about making a lot of cool shit. Oh, yeah, you don't want an x86, you want some power PC. Oof. How's it going? I haven't looked at Haiku for a while. Probably my fucking favorite OS of all time. If I was a billionaire, I would buy out Haiku. And I would hire hundreds of people to develop it. And I would pay hardware vendors to support it. So it would take over Linux. Yeah, Haiku, like I said, it needs it needs a lot of work, man. But what I like about Haiku is it's a pure desktop OS. It's not about all of this server bullshit, you know, supercomputer. It would probably be better for IoT than Linux now, like, because it's so small and compact. But it's about the consumers. And we don't really have anything nowadays that is purely about the consumers. This is about consumers and creativity. It's Apple envisioned in software. I love this shit. Like, again, if I was a billionaire, I would do everything I could to make this like at least take over Linux on the desktop market. Linux can keep its servers, its supercomputer, its IoT, you know, embedded system. Just run on your fucking toast. I don't give a fuck. But as a home desktop for gaming and shit like that, fucking hell, man. Give us Haiku. Give us fucking Haiku. Oh, Haiku could be a really good mobile OS because it's so fucking streamlined. Also, I think it's one of the few, like, proper desktops that are microkernel based. Like, purely microkernel based. Look at this beauty. Well, it's not beautiful, but like, it used to be beautiful. It needs a UI update, but it's not super ugly, but it's just like, again, it has this like, it has this aura where you feel like this is people that want to make cool shit. It's done by people that want to make cool shit. They don't care much about, being the most popular or, being the most politically correct or all that fucking bullshit and spending 90% of their time being political activists. They just want to make cool shit. Give us more of this, please. Give us more cool shit. This gives me so much Linux vibes. Like, this is how Linux used to be like in the 90s and early 2000s. Jesus Christ, this is amazing. Haiku movies. Oh. Haiku Inc. Security. Let's hire private software. Funny enough, when I saw the development manual for Haiku, that made me want to learn C++. Never got. I know a little bit of C++, but I never got around to really get myself into C++. But I really wanted to, so I could help out with the development of Haiku. I just never got around to it. Maybe I should give it a fucking shot nowadays when I have so much time. Well, I don't have any time, but now that I'm doing so much development anyway. I've fucking been hiding behind a computer screen typing in a fucking IDE for the last 2 weeks like a motherfucker. For some projects, it's like really fucking been a busy boy. Been a good old busy boy. I haven't looked at comments for like 2 weeks now, something like that. And I do like doing it like once a week just to see like all the crazy shit people are saying. Oh, they even teach you source control. Or source control. Interesting. As far as I know, these tutorials actually should be kinda good. Yeah, I think this is just examples because I don't think you start to learn people about object arrays in like the first section. And classes and one. It's just about using templates. Yeah, okay, now they're going into it a little bit more. Okay, so they are easing people into it. I should read these fucking I did set up C++ development on my dev laptop. It fucked up Java on so I installed all the extensions for C++ on on Visual Studio Code, and it fucked up my Java somehow. But I luckily enough, I've not been doing much Java since I've been doing a lot of C# shit lately. Like, a lot of C#. And I actually may just fuck over Java. I may not do that, but it's just been... Well, C# and Java is so fucking much alike anyway. It's actually... It looks like being really well written. And not too long in the tooth either. Can we see when it was done? 2010. Well, the principles are still the same, so... Input-output streams. Ooh. I don't know why, but I just like C++ for some fucking weird reason. A lot of people never do this when they handle files and folders and stuff like that. They rarely check if they actually exist before they start manipulating them. They just assume that they either does or don't. iStream. Method common to iStream and OutStream. Formatting. Exceptions? Try catch. Like, honestly, if you want to learn, like, C#, C++, these are not bad. Like... They're not super complicated, they are well written. They're not throwing a lot of shit at you. And like, this is like a 7-page lesson. I think most people could have the attention span of doing that. You know, like, I know it's not TikTok fucking, but... Yeah, here they go a little bit more into depth with it. So this is like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, loops, I guess. Array strings and pointers, units, more loops and conditions. A lot of programming languages are fucking doing the same shit. It's just different, like, wordings. Push the red button. Questions or thoughts? I wonder if we ever going to get away from C++. It's one of the longest lasting development languages that are still like popular and widely used. Well, Rust is meant to be one taking it over, but I just don't see it. They have the same problem Linux has. They want to dominate the world and think you can only do everything in Rust. And it only should be done in Rust, and people don't like that. Because then they will see them as the establishment. Or they will see them as the... people will revolt against them because they don't... Because the Rust people expect everyone to accept them. And then people be like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to use. Don't tell me that you are the only one. And they will just by default, because of that, will revolt against it. If you go up to someone and say, like, there's only one choice, you should only be doing that, most people are not going to like that. They want options, they want choice, they want the illusion of freedom or self-thought. Windows actually give people that to some degree, or enough degree. But if you're telling people that you should be doing that and you should not be doing anything else, they don't like that. That's like the biggest fucking way down to get nobody to do anything with you or for you or use the things you're telling them to use. Like, why the fuck do you think we don't have Crusaders anymore? It didn't work. You know, like, you catch more bees with honey than not. Than vinegar, I think the wording is. Operators, there it is. Bug hunting. Oh, ooh. That can be fun. Fucking spending hours looking at something and it's a fucking comma or something stupid you done later on you just totally forgot about. That is like a 1 second fix. This here is exactly how C# and Java is doing it. Like, word for word. We're looking at arrays. Pointers. That's one thing I never really got into, pointers. Strings. Oh, good old null. Ugh. String terminator. Oh. Project. Bug hunt. What are we looking at here? Review questions. Where are we at here? More loops. It's all about the loops. While. The good old while true loop where you never fucking stop running it. In string. Switch block. Oh, they have switch? Oh! That took fucking Python years to get that. Huh. Wait, can it have more than one? I just... Someone told me something today that I'm like... I don't think they're right about. I just remembered about case statements. Easy introductory task. Here's a few possible starting points. What are we looking at here? Oh, it's for developers. Oh. Getting started. Coding guidelines. What are they like? I kind of want to see what kind of IDEs they want to use and stuff like that. Build your own copy of the Haiku OS. Most wanted tasks. GitHub repos. Oh shit. Screen rotation support. Multiple display support. I thought they already had that. 2 years ago. Jesus Christ. Like, this is like 7 years ago. Screen rotation support. Holy shit. 14 years. What is the longest one? Can we see that? 20 years ago. Unscheduled 18 years ago. Add support for PowerPC. Unscheduled. Implementation Parallel 2. So how do we know which is what? So I think what it says milestone, I think that's when it's done. View milestone. Oh, that's release 1. Oh, we're not even there yet. Release 2. So that would be like in 40 years? Ghost file on desktop. Is that a... must be a bug, yeah. What is the newest one? 7 weeks ago. Windows support. Maybe I should try to install it on my laptop. Or at least one of them. Support a Nvidia G4 RTX 4 family graphic cards drivers. That would be nice. It's also not one of the, like, easiest one to do. Oh, they're almost ready to do, like, R1 Beta 3. They're almost ready to do, like, the first fucking release. Boys and girls, we may see a fucking release of Haiku OS, like a 1.0 in within the next 5 years. Is this the last one? Hey, Joe. So I heard that a lot of, not a lot, but some radio stations, like old-fashioned radio stations, are using Haiku because there is a DJ software, what the fuck you will call it, that is only supported under it that they really, really like to use. Incorrect processing of delete key. Okay. It's. I really fuck. I wish it was way like way more like it got developed better. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. Also correct, by the way. I think they have one full-time developer, or they had at one point. Well, it's due in like 7,979 years. They still have a bit of time to figure it out, I guess. Like, just a little bit. Like, don't stress it, boys. I think you can make it. Like, yeah, what do they have? Total number of tickets, 9,000. Do they have they? Well, they are 94% there. Some headers should be rewritten. Media blitz steaming issues. Mail it don't work. Or doesn't work. I wonder, like, can we, there you go. No. It's all the kernel shit. And here. Also, I think all of the that's non-priority. Have they been closed? I don't know. No, these are the one that's archived. In process, new, reopened, assigned. Yeah, yeah. The last update was 3 weeks ago. Like, they need to they need a better name for that. I used to love their art paint. PBDF. They have a lot of repos. Slayer. Process controller with extra features in a window. With the... Yeah, it's so interesting. Go to gym. Not bad, man. Not bad. What is this? Paladin. GUI with main UI. Interesting. When was the last time they did anything with this? Oh, 6 months. Oh, 3 months ago. Ooh. Yeah, it's slow. What is this? P is a programmer's editor, so this is like Notepad++ kind of thing, I guess. Font the boy. Oh, that reminds me, I still need to do a lot of work on my editor. I think I want to migrate it all to C++, or not C++, C# instead of Java. Now that I don't give a fuck about Apple and Linux support anymore. This is actually a decent fucking paint editor. Or photo editor. Slayer. Oh. Task Manager. Yeah. When was the last time they did? 3 months ago. Just a bump to nightly, I guess. 10 months ago. New one, update translation. So not really any back-end work. Alsace Maze interface elements. Oh, it's GPL v3. Ugh. Oh, that's actually a decent looking weather app. So the last real work was like translation. Oh, someone did Danish. Hey, hello. It is selection window focus search text box 7 months ago. B button. F button. Okay. Fuck button. Okay. Okay. New button. Okay. B translate. Okay. New message. Might have the case. It's using KDE. Oh, I'll take this one. Actions. Interesting. Coding guidelines. Dun, dun. Interesting. Some very long nested condition part 1. And some very long nested condition part 2. It's actually interesting how much effort they put into this. This is a hack. What are you wrong? This is actually how I like to do if statements. Preview. Icophone. Last year. Someone did something last year. Shell. God damn it, man. Jesus Christ. Is GNOME still up? GNOME software? Yep. I wonder what it's Oh, I know why it's taking so much space. It's a flat package. Oh, no, is it a flat package? Wait, what is the command for? Is it flatpak list? Okay, there's no installed flat packages apparently. This is the cache. Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but Wire plumber. System D. Oh, VBox client. Uh-oh, I'm running this as a virtual machine. Get angry. Cinnamon. It's actually impressive how little it actually use. Nemo Desktop. I used to do some fun hacks with Nemo Desktop. I think I used it on LXDE at one point. Didn't Pluman applet had like a massive security breach a few times? Cinnamon Killer Demon. So this evolution, this is like the mail thingy. Why the fuck do we still have that open? A power manager, I think. Pipewire. There's so much shit running on your system, man. Like, when you think about it, there's so much going on your system in the back end. Chrome Crash Handler. And there's 10,000%, yeah, Vivaldi. Good old Vivaldi. Anyway, I'm getting hungry. I need to get some food in me. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. A little quick stream. See you all later. Have a good weekend. And thank you for all the support, likes, and views. And remember to watch my latest video about my 27 years of using Linux. See you all.